Let's move on to section 3, which talks about the association of ideas. According to Hume, there are principles of connection between our thoughts and ideas, and the principle that he was talking about is the resemblance, contiguity, and cause and effect. Resemblance, for example, when you see a picture of a tree and it tends to make you think of a real tree, then that's a resemblance because you associate your ideas to their similarities. Next principle is the contiguity. The example to this is when you are in your apartment and you experience a power interruption. You will associate your idea that the other apartment in the building experiences a power interruption as well. The last principle that Hume is talking about is the cause and effect. When you think of a cause, it naturally leads us to think of the possibly effect. For example, a wound leads to pain or a sword crossing to your wound. You might observe that a sword is the cause of the wound leading to pain. After talking about the association of ideas, we're moving on to our next section, which is the section for skeptical doubts concerning the operation of the understanding. In the first part, Hume divided human knowledge into two categories. He categorized the distinction in the object of human reason into two. The first one is the relation of ideas, in which there is certainty which can be false. It is discoverable by operation of thought, as it concerns the inside of the mind. It is a priori since it is learned independently of experience, and it is analytic as the subject of the statement, or rather the idea that the subject of the statement already includes everything that's in the rest of the statement, and denying them entails a contradiction. For example, all bachelors are unmarried men, because the concept of unmarried man already contains the bachelor. The subject of the sentence includes everything the sentence said about the subject. The next one that Hume categorized is the matters of fact. No matter of fact is 100% certain. Opposite to the first one, it is not discoverable by operation of thought because it does concern the world outside of the mind or known from experience alone. It is a posteriori since it is one learned from experience. While the relation of idea is analytic, this one is synthetic, as you might actually add some information to the very idea of it, and denying them will not cause a contradiction. For example, if the sun will rise and set tomorrow, none of you doubt that, but not 100% that the sun will go out. We are there to conclude that the relation of ideas is right. However, knowing the matters of fact just by reflecting your ideas and drawing a conclusion is another discussion. Hume is trying to figure out how we get knowledge about the world from experience. He says, all our knowledge about the world seems to depend on causes and effects, but how do we know about them? The big thing that we're using to find out about the matters of fact is the idea of cause and effect. We know that certain things cause certain effects to occur, but how do we know that one thing is the cause? How do we know that something is the effect of a particular cause? Hume's answer is a little disconcerting. We do not have any good evidence or reason to think that one thing should cause another thing. For example, if you could imagine you saw water for the very first time, there's no way you could possibly know that it would suffocate you if you tried to breathe under it. There's possibility that you could say that it is amazing, it is nice to have a thick wet air as you just know it for the very first time. Another example is a candle. What if you took a candle with flame and touched them? If you are so curious and you didn't see anyone do that, you might think or guess about it. Maybe you'd feel burning sensation, not really sure. You probably can't know just looking at a candle with flame and what it will cause to you. You're going to have some experience. You take a candle and light up the candle and see what happens once you touch the flame, and you'll probably be aware that it will eventually cause you pain or burn. Hume says that there's no way that you could just look at a candle and a flame and know what will happen or what will answer your curiosity. You have to go out there and experience it. How does experience tells us? The best that we could go for is the fact that certain facts are constantly conjoined with certain causes. There's nothing we could see instantly to be a cause or to be effect because we only observe and see well that when one thing happens, then another thing happens, that we can take them as a causal connection. An example of that is when you hit one billiard ball with another billiard ball. It causes the ball to move, and the only reason why you think that hitting one ball into another ball causes it to move is because every time in the past when the ball moved next to the other ball, it moved as well. You can do the same thing with a lot of other matters of fact. If you want to know whether the sun will rise and set tomorrow, you can reason, well, look at the sun roses out last Tuesday, and it will also rise and set on Wednesday, and it seems that it will rise and set tomorrow as well. Yes, we can use experience to come to a conclusion about matters of fact. Since we can reason that it's done every single time already in the past, and we can make an assumption and draw a conclusion as to the causes of something. However, Hume says that we can't be fully certain about that knowledge. There's always a possibility that things in the future are going to be radically different than they are in the past. Hence, there's a problem with the induction. So, Hume gives us a theory of how we can use experience to get knowledge about matters of fact. But, it comes with what Descartes was looking for, absolutely certain knowledge that he couldn't possibly doubt. Hume says here's some knowledge you could have beliefs that are probably true, but there's always going to be the possibility that you're wrong about your beliefs. There's a possibility that their assumption that the future is going to behave like the past, but is it going to turn out this time around?